Achyuta departed from Orinth, carrying a question. If Katika's guardian had everything, why had it never answered? Achyuta wandered Viveka's quiet corridors, searching for an answer. His thoughts returned again and again to the strange symbols carved into the Guardian's ancient core. There was something unsettlingly familiar about them. He had seen them before. Not on Orinth, not on Katika, somewhere else. Then, like lightning cutting through a dark sky, a forgotten memory awakened. A bustling sweet shop, the scent of fresh sweets. An old scholar, completely absorbed in a weathered engineering book. And on its pages, the very same symbols. Without wasting another moment, Achyuta opened a secure communication channel across the stars. The call was answered by an old friend, a brilliant engineer from the world of Beham. Immediately, Achyuta altered the course of the Viveka. After reaching Beham, Achyuta met his old friend, and the two spent hours discussing everything that had happened on Orinth and the mystery of Katika's silent guardian. When Achyuta revealed the ancient symbols he had found, his friend simply said, "They are among the oldest symbols of our world. Our scholars have studied them for generations." Achyuta asked, but why these symbols would appear on a machine buried on the distant world of Katika? For a moment, silence filled the room. Then his friend said, "There is someone who may know. A man who spent his life journeying across countless galaxies." With no better lead to follow, Achyuta and his friend set out in search of the only person who might hold the missing piece of the puzzle. Their destination was the home of an elderly, brilliant engineer, a man renowned for his extraordinary intellect, but equally feared for his fiery temper and solitary nature. For years, he had lived in complete isolation, rarely opening his doors, and even more rarely speaking to anyone. As they arrived at his gate, the old engineer cracked the door open just enough to see who had come. Achyuta uttered a single word, "Katika." The door shut violently in their faces. With no other clue to follow, and no other hope left, they discussed among them and decided to try again. Achyuta and his friend knocked on the door once again, continuously saying there is another planet in danger for same technology. Then, with a slow creak, the door opened. The old engineer stood there, his face as stern as stone. In a rough, impatient voice, he growled, "You have 5 minutes. Whatever you have to say it, and don't waste my time." Without another word, he turned and walked inside, Achyuta and his friend quietly following him. Achyuta explained everything: Orinth, the silent guardian, and the ancient symbols carved into its core. The old turtle slowly closed his eyes, as though a memory buried for centuries had finally returned. The old alligator turtle let out a dry, sarcastic laugh. "So, another hero has arrived. Years ago, I tried to save Katika too. I used to be the chief engineer in Katika. These symbols are my notes. Useless. Everything is useless. What is destined to happen will happen. No one can stop it. If you wish to play the savior, then go back to the Guardian. Inside its belly, there is a sealed black box. If time has been kind to it, you may still recover fragments of its final recordings." At last, Achyuta had found another clue. It wasn't the answer he had hoped for, but it was enough. Without wasting another moment, he prepared to return to Katika. As he walked toward the door, something on the wall caught his attention. A framed photograph of a human. With curiosity, he asked, "Who is he?" The old engineer said, "Ah, an old friend." Then Achyuta left for Katika. Without delay, Achyuta set course for Katika once more. The colossal machine remained silent, lifeless in the ruined caves of Katika. Following the old engineer's instructions, Achyuta carefully opened the Guardian's armored torso, and he found it. A sealed black box hidden inside the machine's belly, untouched by time. Holding it carefully in his hands, Achyuta knew this small device might contain the final memories of an entire civilization. Without wasting another moment, he carried the black box back aboard the Viveka. Back aboard the Viveka, Achyuta began the painstaking task of repairing the Guardian's damaged memory core. He tried to recover its final recording, but time had not been kind. Most of the data had been corrupted beyond repair. Blurry images flickered across the screen. With a quiet sigh, Achyuta closed the recovery program. But without Achyuta noticing, the last scene from the Guardian's memory was automatically copied onto his personal tablet. Frustrated by hours of failed recovery attempts, Achyuta finally gave up. Disappointed, he returned to his chamber. Hoping to take his mind off the failure, he picked up his personal tablet and began scrolling through its files. Without realizing it, he accidentally opened an unfamiliar video. It was the very same recording that had been silently copied from the Guardian's black box during the recovery process. He stared at the screen in complete disbelief as the mysterious footage unfolded before him. What Achyuta witnessed stayed with him long after the recording had ended. The images refused to leave his mind. The recording revealed the final gathering of Katika's chieftains. Representatives of every clan had assembled in the Great Hall, where the chief scientist stood before them with an announcement that would decide the fate of their world. The chief scientist was saying, "Our planetary defense machine has finally been activated. But there is one final obstacle. To generate a protective shield around Katika, the Guardian requires an immense amount of converted solar energy. We simply do not have enough time to produce such a vast amount before the meteor shower arrives. As you all know, every clan maintains its own reserve of converted solar energy to defend itself against rival clans. I ask each of you to contribute those reserves, just this once. If we combine our stored energy, the Guardian will have enough power to create a planetary shield capable of protecting us all. The meteor shower is expected to strike within this week. We must stand together." As the chief scientist finished explaining the crisis, a voice rose from back of the assembly gate. It was the chief engineer. He said, "We do not need every clan to contribute its converted solar energy. If the 20 most powerful clans combine their reserves, it will be enough to activate the Guardian's planetary shield. Let us draw up a written covenant. The 20 strongest chieftains will pledge in writing to donate their energy reserves. As for the remaining clans, they will entrust their converted energy to us. We shall hold it in secure custody. In this way, the 20 chieftains will be bound by their written commitment, and the entrusted reserves will serve as a safeguard against anyone breaking that promise." The chief scientist's expression hardened. His voice thundered across the assembly. "Enough! Stop dressing selfishness as wisdom. You have always thought first about control, and only then about cooperation. Every clan must contribute equally. You are indispensable to this project. You alone understand the Guardian's energy systems well enough to operate them. That is the only reason I am tolerating this argument. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done after hearing such a proposal.
The chief engineer said in disappointment, "Very well, sir. I have tried my best. If my words carry no value, then I have no work left on this planet. I am leaving."
The recording ended. For several moments, Achyuta remained frozen, unable to look away from the dark screen. His voice trembled with anger. Oh my God. The chief engineer. He left Katika before the catastrophe. The only one person who knew how to harness the converted energy and raise the planetary shield. And all because the chief scientist refused to even consider his proposal. He let pride stand in the way of reason. If that's what happened, then I need answers. I have to confront him. I have to know why he made that decision. And whether his choice doomed an entire civilization. Without another moment's hesitation, Achyuta strode toward the command console. The engines of the Viveka roared to life. The ship altered its course. Its new destination? Behind.